We've all heard the stories of the family annihilators, but rarely do any of these monsters get the chance to do it twice. Welcome to Crime-n-Unwind. This is the story of Gregory Green. Gregory Green was a man with a troubled past. A man who seemed to be haunted by demons that he could not escape. Born in 1968 in Detroit, Michigan, Green grew up in a family that was plagued by domestic violence. His father was abusive to his mother, and as a child, Green witnessed the violence firsthand. Despite this traumatic upbringing, Green managed to graduate from high school and went on to attend college, where he earned a degree in engineering. However, his troubles did not end there. He struggled to find a job in his field and eventually turned to drug dealing to make ends meet. In 1991, Green committed the unthinkable act of stabbing his wife in the chest and face, resulting in the death of both his wife and their unborn child. Following the murders, Green contacted the authorities through a 911 call and waited for their arrival. He was convicted and sentenced for the crime. And listen to this. After serving a sentence of approximately 16 years for murder, Green was granted parole with the assistance of his loved ones and a pastor who advocated on his behalf. The pastor, Fred Harris, had known Green before his incarceration and wrote to the Michigan Parole Board in August 2005, stating that he believed Green had shown remorse for his actions and had paid for his mistakes as much as possible. Harris also mentioned that Green was a member of their church community. He was a man who had hit rock bottom and managed to turn his life around, only to soon fall back into old habits. He married the pastor's daughter, Faith Harris, and eventually, he became a youth pastor. Gregory was grateful for the opportunity to serve in the church and to give back to his community. He worked hard to mentor young people and to help them avoid the mistakes he had made in his past. However, Gregory's life took a dark turn in 2016. His wife, Faith Harris Green, filed for divorce, and he became increasingly unstable. He began to have violent outbursts and threatened to harm his family. On September 21, 2016, Gregory carried out his threats. He murdered his two daughters, Coy, who was 4 years old, and 5-year-old Kaylee, by carbon monoxide poisoning in their car. Green tied up and tortured Faith Harris Green, resulting in her face being slashed deep enough to cause permanent nerve damage, and then shooting her in the foot. He then killed his stepchildren, 19-year-old Chadney Allen and 17-year-old Kara Allen, right in front of the already suffering and traumatized mother of the children. Green called 911 and told them what he did. Gregory Green was arrested and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. This brings us to the question of how is it possible to take not 1, but 2 lives, since his first wife was pregnant, and still get out with enough time to start another family? When it comes to taking a life, I believe the person that committed that act should pay with their own. Not necessarily the electric chair or lethal injection, but for a fact they should never see the light of day without a barbed wire barrier in between them and that life and freedom they robbed their victim of.
I'm lost, not really knowing what to do with myself, just existing day to day. I miss my children so much that words will never be able to explain. All I ever wanted to be was a mother, a wife, have a happy family, raise my children to be productive members of society, and be happy. The reality I face now is this will never happen for me. Time will never heal this wound. I will always be empty. A part of me will always be missing. If the day ever comes when I do wake up, and it's not the first thing that I think about, when I look in the mirror, I will always be reminded by the scars he put on my face, cutting me from my ears to my chin with a razor blade box cutter. The pain on the left side of my face never goes away. He cut me so deep that it severed multiple nerves that may never heal correctly. I lost so much blood. I was in critical condition for days. I should have died. Some days I wish I would have. He has scarred me for life. My whole family is devastated emotionally by what has happened. But it has extremely been hard on my parents. They love their grandchildren with all their hearts. Most days, my mother has a hard time getting out of bed and has been in the hospital a few times, but my father is taking it the hardest. He's not the same person he once was. The stress has taken a toll on his health. 2 weeks ago, he was taken to the hospital because he had a stroke. I honestly don't know where to go from here. I'm numb. There's a hole in my heart and soul that can never be repaired. The loss to me is so big that I will never truly recover for the rest of my life. I will be forever in pain and heartbreak. This wound will never heal. This wound will never heal.
Our heart sincerely goes out to the Harris family. A pastor that saw the good in a devil. That pastor's daughter that saw a loving man in a monster. And the same unthinkable crime happening twice. Nobody deserves the hell he has put the Harris family in for the rest of their lives. His trial began in February 2017, and he was found guilty on all charges. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In the end, Gregory's story is a cautionary tale of the dangers of returning to old habits and falling back into a life of crime. Despite his best efforts and his dedication to God, he was unable to overcome the demons of his past and ended up committing a horrific crime. His story also highlights the importance of seeking help when dealing with mental health issues and the need for proper support for individuals who are struggling to rebuild their lives after serving time in prison. It is a tragedy that his redemption story ended in such a heartbreaking way, but his legacy should serve as a reminder of the power of forgiveness and the importance of seeking help when needed. If you've enjoyed today's case, drop a like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching Crime-n-Unwind.